So hello everybody, it is me, Demetra K, and I am sitting here with Donovan, the recovering Democrat from the DR, Sadiq. And this is the Demetra K Show, where we promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people, with the emphasis on even, because we are a great people, but we can always strive to do better. So we are going to be talking about three things today, in addition to our tonight's conversation, the date night edition, where we ask questions and we answer them as honestly as we can. And so today we're going to be talking about a tweet that I saw on Twitter. And I was like, that's definitely going to make for an interesting conversation. Now, mind you, Donovan does not have any knowledge of what exactly we're going to be talking about, because I like to get his reaction before. And so then we're going to be talking about a passport bro that got caught in this very sticky situation. We're going to discuss that. And then, of course, Donovan wanted to speak about Ciara. Guess she has a song that she's working on, and she's speaking to all it's for my girls, I think is the name of the song, where she's talking about the ladies or something. Y'all hear it. We'll get into all of that. So anyway, Donovan, what say you?
All right. Welcome to the Demetra K podcast. Welcome to have you guys here. Thank you that you guys are tuning in. Do us a favor, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Also, become a member, and that way you will get first notification when Demetra drops those great videos that she does on the African Diaspora channel and those other channels. A lot of stuff going on out there in the world, and you guys got to pay attention. We do have some elections coming up. For those of you guys that are in Chicago, your girl Lori Lightfoot said if you don't vote for her, you basically might as well stay home. Does that sound familiar, that strategy? Isn't that a type of voter suppression when you say, if you ain't voting for me, don't vote for nobody else? So again, we got a lot of problems within our Black leadership. As I've always said, we have enough Black leaders in positions to change the trajectory of Black people in this country, yet they do nothing. So again, is the problem them, or is the problem you that keep voting these people in office? But let's get into these subjects, because I have not seen these things. So it's going to be interesting.
All right. So first up, we have a tweet from a sister. I don't know if that's an AI. It looks like it could be AI, but her name is Ebony Vixen 27. And it says, as women, we need to start getting on our knees and begging our men to stay with us. Who's with me? Donovan, I want your opinion on this first.
I'm sorry, I couldn't stop clapping, because I mean she's saying it just like that. That is my reaction to it. There's an old saying: you can get more niceness with honey than you do salt, right? Now, I don't know if this is just cap. I don't know what this is really, but it's kind of shocking that it's out there like that. And I'm very sure a lot of the feminists, or the man-hating women, just started dogging the woman out, whatever. It says, as women, we need to start getting on our knees and begging our men to stay with us. Who's with me? The passport bros and the people that are leaving, like I said, it depends on the context that she's saying that. So I'm not sure how to really come at that and where she's going with it, because a small group of men compared to the group of us as Black men is very small that actually leave. So I really don't know where she's going with that or what she actually means. That's the answer I'm going to give.
Well, yeah, you're right. That's could mean a whole lot of things. I tend to think that it is in relation to the whole passport bro movement of passport bros, which, there's kind of two meanings. One is men who are supposed to go overseas and find a wife and stay there. Then there's the one that's kind of more popular, that's gained more popularity in the last couple of years, is when the brothers, or, not necessarily Black men, but brothers, go over to other countries and they get with other women, but they don't marry them and stay, type of thing. It's kind of
they're
like
just having a good time. Right.
Yeah, it's become like Disneyland. Disneyland for grown dudes, to go and play around with other women in different countries. So there's two different ones. So I kind of assumed that that's where she was going with that. Now, I will say within the comment section, there was a lot of pushback. There's somebody put a meme in there of an older black lady. Is just some meme from somewhere else talking about, now get somebody else to do it. And so I laughed when I read this because I'm like, y'all know me, there's levels to how I think. And when I hear as a woman, we need to start getting on our knees and begging our men to stay with us, who's with me, I'm like, well, why are they leaving, first of all? And what man would, three things. Why are you leaving? What man would want a woman to get on her knees? And if I got to get on my knees to beg you to stay, that's more me wanting you to stay than you. I want somebody to be there because they want to be there. I don't want to have to beg and pull somebody. Oh, please, please. You know what I mean? I guess that's how that reeks of desperation. And I don't care if it's a man, woman, dog, cat, horse. If it does not want to stay, let them go. That's my opinion of it. But as far as me getting on my knees, first of all, I was never raised that way. I'm a queen in every true sense of the word, a lady, and I will not be getting on that nan knee to beg no man to do nothing with or for me at all. A man that wants to do something or be with me gonna be that without me having to bend on my knees. That's kind of how I see it. And so I kind of, this is not the first tweet or something like that I've seen, you know, and heard of these TikToks and videos of different women, you know, begging men to stay, and, you know, let's keep it real, black men to stay. And y'all know how I feel about it. If you want to go, you should go do that. I'm not going to beg to be with nothing that don't want to be with me. You know what I mean? And I think that's where we, is not even just women, but women and men, we need to raise our self-esteem a little bit and say, well, first of all, what kind of fool would I be to get on my knee and beg somebody to be with me? You know what I mean? And you also have to have a high enough self-esteem to say, well, that's cool. You don't want to be with me. That's probably going to hurt or whatever. But I'm never going to know. I would never lower myself to do any of that. And yes, that is lower quartile behavior for a woman to get on her knee and beg a man to stay with her. That's just how I see it.
Interesting.
And how so?
That's an interesting opinion. I mean, interesting.
Okay. So you don't disagree with that, okay?
No, I didn't say I didn't disagree with it. I just said it's interesting.
Oh, well, you got the flow, brother.
No. Hey, if that's how you feel, anything. Okay, here's how I feel about it. If a person chooses to obviously get on their knees and beg a person, obviously they must have done something to that person or whatever. Hey, if that's how they're going to do it, that's how they're going to do it. I'm not going to shun anybody on how they're going to get somebody back and how they're going to do it. If I really wanted a woman bad enough and I had to get on my knees to do so, I would do so. That's just me personally. That's what I would do. I'm not going to shun anybody that takes whatever measures they're going to take to try to get somebody back into their lives or whatever the situation is. So your stance, hey, that's an interesting stance. There's nothing wrong with it. You know, it might work. It might not work. Somebody getting on their knees to beg somebody, it might work. It might not work. It all depends on the person and the individual.
And I'm going to go a step further and say that's for the man to do. That's for the man to be getting on his knee. It's just the same thing like with marriage. A man gets on his bended knee. A woman don't get on her bended knee and ask no man for his hand in marriage. That is backwards. I mean, and even throughout history, we've heard songs. I know you want to leave me, but I refuse to let you go. You know what I mean? Hey, boys and men, on bended knee. So there's so many fine examples out there of how the man is getting on his knees and asking the woman to stay and all of that. Now I'll go with your, whether she did something type of thing. She did something, yes, she might want to be contrite. Would you forgive me and all that? But I'm not going to beg you to stay now. I would, you know, honey, I would that you would stay. I know I made some mistakes or whatever the case is, but it's begging you. Because what happens is when you beg somebody to stay, and they may stay out of pity. Okay, God, she got on my nerves, I'm going to stay. They don't really want to be there. Don't you want somebody who really wants to be there without you having to do all of that? I would, because I would be nervous to think, all right, well, I begged this man to stay. And then I'll be walking on eggshells because in the back of his mind, he probably really still want to leave. You know what I mean? So no, I want you to stay because you want to stay. Now, if I said, listen, I did something to you, baby, I'm sorry. Would you please forgive me? Give me another chance. And, you still say no, dropping on my knee is something I'm not going to do. I'm sorry. Ain't going to happen. You don't have nothing else to say?
What else can I say?
All right. So there y'all have it. Okay. Now we're going to move on to the next one. Now this one, I'm just going to let it speak for itself. Okay. All ready? Here we go.
I'm here still in DR. I missed my flight last night. I just got off the phone with Spirit. I'm waiting on them to call me back. It's a $100 reschedule fee. I need a cash app, guys. I need a cash app to try to get this fee together, man. I'm so sick right now. I'm sick as hell. I've been trying to call Kayla because I know she's like in the area. So I was trying to call her to like set something up to where I can get like some actual money because I'm hungry. I have very little bread left. I maybe got like $15. I'm just calling on the subscribers now to see can I get another 100 to get the reschedule fee. They try to make me book for a whole nother ticket. I can argue with that guy. I don't got them customer service with Spirit for about had to be at least 45 minutes. I'm damn near, I don't know if y'all can hear, I didn't lost my voice yelling up there and then yelling at customer service. Yeah, man, this trip turned out to be so bad, yo. This trip was so crazy, guys.
All right. So there's more. Okay. Y'all, you ready? Y'all ready? Let me get him off of here. Here we go.
This trip, guys, has been hell. Literally, yo. My content, this sub-content, the beefs, the trolls, the haters, my content, my life. Do you guys understand? It's downsides to being famous, yo. I'm going back to the suit Memorial Day weekend, straight up. I just can't stay away, man. But I'm going to have my budget right this time. I can't stay away, yo. I cannot stay. I cannot, man. Straight up, I can't. It's tough. It's like a gambler's addiction. It's just tough, man. It's tough to stay away, bro. It's tough to stay away, bro. It's super tough.
Okay. So what's up? I said.
Oh my God! I can't stay away. I can't stay away, yo. I can't. You get to live a millionaire's lifestyle on a little bitty.
So remove him, but that was his end freezing up because I guess he was on live stream, whatever. But basically saying you can live $1 million lifestyle on a little bit of money. Donovan, do you want me to go first, or you want to go first?
Okay, I'm gonna go first, just for the aspect of defending the foolishness. Okay, I think I saw this brother when I was down there. I did. I think I saw him when I was down there. Okay, and he wasn't in the airport begging for money or nothing like that. I think I saw him at the Rumba Kings or something like that. Because when I go, I like to people watch because that's free. I people watch. I like doing it, like talking about people and seeing what's going on. Now, here's what I don't understand, especially you Negroes from the East Coast. I don't understand this. You come down to a place like that and you got $3,000, $5,000 in cash and you spend it all doing whatever you're doing, you know, being something you really aren't. I know you want to just flash and make it rain and whatever else that bull crap that you guys do. Then you have to run back and make more money just to come back again. Either you got it or you don't got it. Now, I'm not bragging on myself or anything like that. Demetra will tell you, I could have stayed if it wasn't for the fact that I have things I have to do here in the States. I could stay in the DR as long as I want to. As a matter of fact, I was there for over 20 days this time. Just doing my thing and having a good time. You know, either you got money or you don't have it, credit cards or whatever. These guys come down there and you spend all of your money. Then you're asking for your subscribers to finance your foolishness. You're giving the game a black eye, brother. You're giving the game a black eye. I would say that this guy here is indicative to these young Thundercats that are going down to these countries and driving the prices up or whatever they're doing, the drinks, everything like that, because they're just throwing the money out like they're damn fools. So I don't think he represents passport bros, because even in my podcast, I always tell you there's a significant difference between older men like myself that are there looking for wives, and there are older men that are just there to have fun. So there's two different types of groups that are actually going to these places. And let's face it, if you're 30 years and younger, you're not there to look for a wife. You're there to have a good time. So very embarrassing. That was very embarrassing.
And which category did you fall under the 4 times you went?
I'm looking for a wife.
You ain't found one in 4 times?
Well, yeah, I found several of them 4 times. The thing is, it's a process, right? You got to do the courting and all that other stuff and whatever else you're doing, right?
What's her name? What's her name?
You met Cindy.
That's it, ain't Cindy.
I know it ain't, because she's got her issues, whatever. But you know what I mean? So
I'm just asking, brother. Okay.
Nobody that has been to Sisua could actually say they saw me with a particular person, other than maybe this one person, and they saw me at the Rumba Kings with whatever. They never saw me have anybody go to my room or anything like that, because it ain't what you do, it's how you do it.
But you didn't say you didn't do it, though.
No, I didn't say it. I didn't say it.
So anyway, let me give y'all a recap. This brother, I don't know, his name was Pissed Off Rello, I think. I don't know if that's his name. Never heard of him. Basically, sounds like he says the Sioux, so that's short for Sasua. That's just the one of the strolls. Let's keep it real. It's the stroll out there. So he was out there. Sounds like he was having a good time, and he was in the airport on Spirit, nevertheless, because Spirit does go to the DR. And he was lamenting in the airport that he was broke and hungry. Okay, he was broke and hungry. He said he got about $15 to his name. Apparently, the brother missed his flight, and Spirit is like, nah, the ticket was already $3. You know what I mean? So the reconnection fee is gonna cost you $100. He didn't have it, so it sounds like whatever he was doing, he got caught up and missed his flight and ran to the airport with $15 in his pocket, could not pay for the reconnection fee. So he's stranded in the airport there. Now he's online at that particular point, begging his subscribers. It sounds like they sent him some money, but he needed some more. How to get back home and all that other stuff.
He's gonna take that money and go trick off with it a little bit more.
Well, I don't know. So $100. I got so much to say. $100, okay? So needless to say, he made it back. And as y'all saw, he was like a Memorial Day weekend, I'll be back. So I don't know if something big is going on there, but he'll be back or whatever. He says, being famous has its drawbacks. And I'm like, how the hell you famous and you broke? No, you famous, but it ain't for that. You famous for being broke. You know what I mean?
See, but isn't that crazy how these young people think because they're on YouTube and stuff that they're famous?
That young, no. He didn't seem like
well,
he was that young.
He's younger than I am, so I would say that. But these people, it's like these younger people think because they're on YouTube or whatever that they're famous. I mean, it's crazy. It's just crazy.
Yeah, so he's famous. And next time he go back, he gonna budget so he could, you know, make sure he makes it back home after he does all the tricking, right? And he says over there, you know, you can live like a millionaire on a shoestring budget.
Yeah, that's not true. That's not true at all.
He more like had like a Velcro budget. You know, the Velcro shoes. He didn't even have no shoestring at all. But I've always heard this saying, it ain't tricking if you got it. But if you ain't got it, it's tricking. So he was honestly, sound like he was over there tricking, spending all his money, did not come home with no wife. And then if y'all notice in the beginning, he said somebody's name. So it sounded like it was a woman over there, which is hilarious to me. A woman over there that he was trying to get a hold of because she got some money. It's like, yeah, she got your money. And why you think you can't get a hold of her? You can't get a hold of her because she's like, shoot, just like a lollipop. You got licked. And what you like, no, speak English. She like, what you want? I ain't giving you no money.
Most likely she changed her number, blocked him.
Yeah, on WhatsApp, because that's how y'all communicate with them. On WhatsApp, she was like, oh yeah, he keep calling me. Let me go on and block this number. But so what an idiot, first of all. But the other thing is, how you going anywhere? I wouldn't even go around the corner without no money in my pocket. But you going to a whole nother country without any money to come back? Like, to me, even if you sucked at budgeting, how do you not have at least $100 to your name? And my thing is, you can't call your mama, you ain't call your daddy, you ain't got no homies. Like the last thing, honestly, I ain't never had to do this before, but I might get on the stroll before I get online and talk about, hey y'all, I'm over here and I was tricking and I need some more money. Now it's like, it's not even embarrassing. Whatever word that goes beyond embarrassing, that's what that is. And then to your point, Donovan, I've seen quite a few passport bros try to disassociate themselves from him. Oh, no, he giving it, but they said the same thing you said. He giving it a black eye. And it's like, no, he ain't giving it a black eye. He's doing what, okay, it's like this. He is what we thought the passport bros were. And not all of y'all, so please don't get me, I'm not saying all, but some are very dusty individuals that are broke, that's taking the $2 they got to go over there and chasing. And you said they driving the price of everything up, including Pooh Nanny, right? Because those women over there, like, shoot, they coming over here dropping bands. Yeah, we ain't gonna be able to give it to you for $2 no more. So, you know, he's got all these followers and all this other stuff, but it's like, it's a persona online. It's a persona. Oh yeah, you know, come on, guys, let's go over there and leave these American women alone and go over here. But you know what I'm gonna tell you right now? If I give it back to you, I'm gonna tell you right now. I guarantee you $1 to a donut. He would have been able to get a sister on the line that would have said, "Oh, really? You broke? You need some money? Here you go." I bet you he would have got a sister on the line quicker than he got Maria.
I'll agree with that. Now, remember, he's in another country, so Maria doesn't give a damn about him. And she's there to provide a service or whatever she's doing, having a good time. It's a transaction. It's a transactional thing if you're going to deal with that. Yeah, he's given the game a black eye. And what I mean by the game is this, and I want to clear up some misnomers real quick. You cannot come down to the DR and live like a millionaire. Can the dollar go longer? Yes, but it's still, you got to have some money to live down here. Because when I was there, if you guys go to my Facebook page, you will see that I was looking at properties and the cost of some of these properties. You're talking about a 3-bedroom, $250,000, such and such and such and such and such. So it isn't. Don't let these guys fool you. And that's what I'm saying. These are young guys that don't know what they're talking about, that probably have never been anywhere. These dusty dudes, notice there's a theme with the dusty dudes that act like that. Where are they from? Big cities. They're from these big cities: Atlanta, New York, Philadelphia, Los Angeles, Houston, whatever. So I don't know what the theme of that is. In regards to Maria and all of them, don't get it twisted, brothers. If you're listening to this broadcast, if you're watching this broadcast, those women want to be like American women. So if you think you're having problems in the United States with the women there, what do you think the women in these other countries, especially in the Caribbean, are seeing? They're seeing their cousins and people going to New York and immigrating to New York, and they're, living this lifestyle, whatever. They want the same exact things. Demetra, you were there. Beauty shops are everywhere. Nail shops are everywhere. I mean, they are living the Cardi B lifestyle. And so if you think you're going to come down here and get some punani for $35, that ain't going to happen. That is not going to happen. And if you are getting it for $35, I hope you survive. I hope. So, don't let these guys fool you into thinking that, oh, it's a paradise and it's $3 and it is not that. Yes. Are these women beautiful? Yes. Are these women running around looking enhanced and all that? Yes. These very beautiful women and stuff like that. But it's a business. It's a business. And that business is good and it's not cheap, especially when these young guys come down. I was there for Super Bowl. Quick story. I was there for Super Bowl. I was in, if you ever go there, go to Coco Locos. Did you see the video where I was at the boxing event? Yeah, I'm at the boxing event, live boxing, and and I'm at this other event. Older people are there, that's where we go. But during the Super Bowl is over, right? I'm coming out of Coco Locos, and then there's a place called Rumba, which is very popular, sports place. The chicas were spilling out into the streets, where the cars couldn't even pass. That's how many of them that were out there, because they know all these gringos were coming from America. They're going to drop it like it's hot. And these guys were doing that. And I'm telling you, it ain't going to cost you, hypothetically, $50. That ain't going to happen. We say American prices. So whatever you're tricking in America, that's what it costs down in the DR. You better believe that.
Oh, it just opened up so many questions for me. If y'all paying the same amount for the bouquet over there that you pay over here, why not just stay here?
That is what I was telling a lot of us older brothers, especially us military brothers that have traveled. That's what we were telling these young guys. You mean to tell me you got on a plane, spent $300 round trip to get down here? You need a hotel and you got to eat, and you're still going to pay American prices? You might as well have stayed where you're at, and you would have saved way more money. But these young guys don't think.
It ain't just the young guys, brother. It's the old cats too. But
the difference between the younger and the older cats, of course, as we know, a lot of the older guys are more established, so they have a money base or whatever in most cases.
So can I ask you, what's the difference in women then?
Well, the difference in women, and this is my opinion, is even in the Dominican Republic, they are taught to cater to their men because of the culture. It's something that's taught, where that's a missing thing in a lot of American culture. The independent woman, that doesn't really jive in those Latin countries.
Now, I wrote something you said down, and you said they want, remember guys, they want to be like American women. So if those women are like American women, then what's the difference? Well,
the difference is, okay, they're grown now, whatever the deal is, and they're seeing what they see on TV, right? And this is what they want to be, Cardi B. They're seeing these things that we're going to see. And when we go into our next segment, it kind of goes into what is being told to them. And if you go to the DR in a lot of Latin countries where they're Afro-Latinos or whatever, and whatever, they are starting to have a significant problem with their women who are buying in to that single woman BS, whatever else is going on in their culture. They're starting to have a significant problem with that.
Yeah, I just want to say too, if for whatever reason I glitch because it's windy out here, when my power come back on, so you stay on, and I'll do what I need to do. But I don't know. I find it hard to believe that Cardi B has such an influence over a whole country of women. I just think that, can I be honest with you? I just think a lot of you dudes are delusional and thinking that a woman is different everywhere. The women are the same everywhere, honestly. Just like men are the same everywhere. They're the same. Maybe the languages are different or whatever, but the women, y'all say traditional and that they cater to men. There's a lot of women over here that cater to men. I mean, yeah, they cater to men. So there's no difference. And the difference is in that maybe she's more exotic. And I keep asking you men, prove me wrong. Prove me wrong is that it's not that she's exotic, because the women are the same. Don't no woman want no man going over there broke. Clearly, because this brother that was just on here, he gave all his money to somebody. So, you know, and we say traditional. Y'all know, we know doggone well, we've heard plenty of stories of women from different countries like, nah, sucker. You know, because a lot of times when I hear about men going over to other countries, oh, you know, and a lot of the men that y'all see online, including this joker here, you know, they show y'all the glossy life, the glitz and the glam, and the big old Asian booties and all this other stuff. But they don't show y'all the other side of those women. You know, because when I see the passport bros talk about other women in other countries, it's almost like she's a commodity. She's a nitwit commodity. She doesn't have a brain. It's almost like, look what you can do with her. Look what you can do to her. And she's just going to, that's kind of what I see, right? But it's like, if I know women, because I am one, if I know women, I know in the mind of that woman, she like, yeah, I'm going to make this dude think whatever he want to think. But I'm going to, ooh, you just wait. I'm going to catch him slipping, and I'm going to dig in his pockets. Because at that time, one thing I would say is they probably know how to play the game. And trust me, there's a lot of women over here know how to play the game too. So there's really no difference. They making y'all think that they're more this, that, and the other. And then, you know, the kind of like the geisha girl thing, you know, oh, you can do whatever you want to me. Nah, because I've even talked to Asian men who, you know, have Asian wives or whatever. And they're like, nah, that ain't what you think. They don't act like that with us. You know, I know an older Asian guy, him and his wife had divorced, but she can't, you know, he was like, kind of like our thing. If she's not working or whatever, we take care of her anyway. So he moved her into the house. He said she has the master bedroom. He has the smaller bedroom. She spends all the money. And he's, you know, like, she doesn't even try to get intimate with me, even though I'm taking care of her. And, you know, she goes to Korea or whatever for months at a time on my money. You know, she's very horrible to me. Because at the time you were trying to push up on me, I was like, you know, but I was like, wow. But to hear y'all talk about these women, I'm like, y'all ever talk to Asian dudes and hear their experience with their women? Because obviously these women are playing games with y'all just to, you know, get in your pants. And I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about your pockets.
Well, you know, as you know, for me, I lived in Asia. So I'm going to tell you there is a significant difference in the cultures and how they treat men and things like that. Now, as we have come out in like places like Korea, Japan, that are very Western and are really modern, their economies are really good. Right now, the Philippines is the sixth fastest growing economy in Asia. So they're coming out of their corruption phase with, you know, the Marcoses and all that other stuff that was going on, you know, in the 80s and all that other stuff. So they're just coming out of it. And I'm going to tell you, there is a significant difference in the culture and how they treat their men and how they do things. So again,
can I ask you what's the difference? Because I don't know. So what's the difference?
Well, again, in some situations, like let's talk about the Philippines, or okay, let's talk about the Philippines in regards to the Americans, because there was a lot of American bases in the Philippines and all that other stuff. In a lot of situations, there's arranged marriages. You know what I mean? The girl's going to marry the guy, and, you know, he takes care of her, and they go on to the States and they have a great time. So that's not unusual there, to where the daughters are they're not a liability. They're an asset to the family, in that if they can hook a Western type guy, Australian or whatever, as we know, and I'm going to tell you this from the Filipinos that I know and the culture that I know, if you take care of a Filipino woman, you're taking care of her family. There's no doubt about that. That's going to happen. Tiger Woods. How many people you guys heard of Tiger Woods? His mother's from Thailand. Now remember, Tiger Woods had other brothers and sisters from a previous marriage of his dad. But guess what family got taken care of when Tiger was making all that money? It was the Asian side, not the brother side.
Well, would you believe me if I tell you that, well, she's not sister-in-law by marriage, but, my pseudo sister-in-law, she's Filipino.
Sure.
And I'm telling you right now, my brother ain't taking care of their family. Now, he taking care of her.
No, but they're not married either.
Yeah, but they might as well be. They've been together forever.
Right.
You know what I mean?
See, again,
I know that her family is very wealthy.
Yes, exactly. But like I said, we're talking about women that come out of the provinces that are very poor. You're talking about a more modern type family that's well off. There's a significant difference in the hierarchy and how the Asians do their hierarchies.
So let me ask you this.
Sure.
So, because I'll take it to word, you have to take care of the whole family if you go get a woman. Can we just keep it 100? What Negro from America do you know that's going to seek out a Filipino woman to take care of her and her family when he can barely take care of his own self over here?
Well, here's the thing. A lot of them don't know that until they get over there. Okay. A lot of them don't know that. You don't go there thinking, oh, I'm going to take care of a family unless somebody tells you this is a possibility.
So they stupid.
No, it's not that they're stupid. They just don't have the information. You're dealing with two different cultures. That's all. You're just no, it's not stupid. You're dealing with two different cultures. When I was in the military and guys were taking these wives, we would have to give them the briefing. Do you understand the culture? Do you understand what's happening? And not every Filipino wants you to take care of their family. Now, the majority of them, yes, that's part of the culture. They expect that. But then at the same time, let's say there's a black man and a black woman in the United States, and the woman's family or mother needs help. The man helps out, doesn't he? So it's, it's in the cultures. You're going to take care of so-and-so's mom if the mother's in need and you're married to that woman. That's just how people are supposed to act, I would say.
Now, I'm saying stupid being facetious, obviously, because my thing is, why the hell would you go all the way to another country and not know what the hell you going over there for? None of that makes any sense to me.
Well, you got to think about it. Okay, I'm going to comment from a military aspect. You're getting assigned over there. You don't know really what's going on. So it's your first assignment overseas. And, there's not a lot of American women, right? Other than, soldier women and, whatever. You don't want to deal with them, whatever. And you meet a bar girl, whatever. You fall in love. I mean, even until this day on YouTube, you will still see stories of older American men, white mostly, that are getting fleeced by these Filipinos. They thought they were in love and they married her and stuff. And next thing you know, he buys the house, building the house in the village, but didn't know that the law says that you can't own any property there. Everything has to be in her name. A lot of these Filipinos are married to other Filipinos that you don't know anything about. I mean, it's a whole thing. And when you're ignorant like that, you just don't know. Like I said, you're not asking enough questions.
Stupid. It's stupid. Because I say it's stupid. And not even just for a man, but for anybody going anywhere and you not knowing what you're going over there, which is why I take issue with y'all saying y'all going looking for wives, because if you're going to look for a wife, you're going to know the ins and outs of going to look for a wife. Just like, if you marry somebody over there and you bring them over here, you got to take care of them up to 10 years or 30 10 years or 30 months of them working consecutively. So you cannot just bring them over here and say, well, I'm going to divorce you. See you later. Now you got to take care of them, and that's the law. So my thing is, that's why I know this wave of passport bros that are going over there making these copious trips to other countries. You're not going to look for a wife, you're looking for coochie. Let's just keep it real.
Well, again, we also tell the people that if you do fall in love with somebody over there, don't bring her back to the United States. You want to go there and live. You don't want to bring her back here because you're going to have a whole lot of issues and problems with the law, like you just quoted like that. You got to take care of them. It incentivizes them to leave or whatever you're going to be doing. But yeah, there's a significant difference in the cultures in how they're treating you. And let's just be real. Not everybody's out to gouge you. There's real love out there in some situations. Some guys do find real love. And, and I've seen the military. I went to Montana and I saw nothing but Asians in Montana. And, you're thinking, what the hell all these Asians doing up here? American service members, bringing these women over and having families with them. There's, it is what it is. There is sometimes true love that actually happens.
Yeah, no doubt. There's genuine love over there. But then again, I don't know much about it because that's not my thing. But I'm just saying, if I was going anywhere, I would try my best to know, especially if I'm going to look for a husband. Yeah, I kind of want to know what there is to know. Okay, what's the laws, the ins and outs, and all of that. I'm not just, but see, that's why I said, and I'm gonna say it again. They're going over there for booty, not for marriage. They not
right now. As you know, in my situation, I am very well versed. I am very well versed in what I get into and what I don't get into because I've lived overseas and I understand it.
When is the wedding?
We're still working on that, but like I said, I just want to go to Vegas real quick and just knock it out and just be done with it. You know me, I'm low key like that.
You gonna bring her over here then, huh?
No, I'm not.
See, just be lying.
I am not. Again, okay. I'm an experienced travel guy, right? I'm an experienced travel guy. So if you guys are listening to me, listen to somebody who has experience. If you are going to fall in love with these women, do not bring them to the United States. You're going to have a bunch of problems. You are. If you cannot go over there and buy property and buy a house and set up, you shouldn't be getting married to these women over there. You shouldn't be doing it.
Marriage ain't the objective for a lot of y'all. And I'm going to call it what it is. But anyway, hopefully, brother, when he goes back over there in May, he will be a little bit financial. But I'm going to say this. If I was y'all, if y'all are supporting that man, ask yourself why. Ask yourself, what am I really learning from him? I'm sure he big up the whole situation before he was going. And when he was over there, I'm sure he had a whole lot. Oh, yeah. And then he gets stuck in the airport. And so if you are a supporter of him, you need to, like, when does logic come into the situation? Because I'd be like, this man can't teach me nothing. First of all, he going over somewhere and getting stranded in the DR, especially from here. Ain't but what, a 4-hour trip. So I don't know where the brother's from. Donovan, from you, if it's a straight flight, is what, 6 hours, maybe?
Yeah. If I'm coming from Panama via Panama, right?
It ain't like you went to Africa or something like that, and you just like was stranded. And so if I was one of his followers or any of them, I'd be like, he really can't teach me nothing.
And let me add this. You better show and believe people are seeing that video of him being stranded. Those girls ain't going to screw with him other than to get his money if he comes back and they know he's a set up trick. They're watching. They're seeing this stuff. They are seeing this stuff. So you best believe these women are saying, oh, he's a mark. He's just a mark. That's all it is.
Oh yeah, I'd be following his channel, be waiting for him to he'll be back in the Sioux is what he calls. He'll be back in the Sioux. He on his way. Yep, I'll be waiting right at the bus station or the airport right for him. Oh, hi, how you doing, Poppy? Come on, Poppy. I drain his pockets. That's if I was that way. I'm not that way. I just want y'all to know that I'm not that way. But if it was that way, yes, y'all know how y'all get them country girls getting off the bus talking about I'm coming to Hollywood to pursue my acting dreams, and then she'd be somewhere else pursuing something else. That's how I would do y'all.
The other acting dream,
right? That's how I do y'all getting off the bus to Sasua. I'll be right there at the bus station waiting for you. Never mind.
Well, the funny thing is, you would think, okay, these girls haven't caught on yet because it's a fairly new thing. The foreign medical program with the VA, they've got the VA clinic right there in the heart, right across the street from Rumba Kings. You would think that these girls would say, look at these guys coming out of there. Those are military guys or guys that were in the military. So they have some kind of money and benefits coming to them. They haven't really caught on to it yet.
I'm going to tell you why. Y'all think the CEO, you're mistaken. You think those women are stupid. They're like, nah, we're going to have a harder time getting $1 from them than we would the suckers like the dude that was on here that's making it rain everywhere. They're like, that's an easy drain right there. We can get the money.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, because those military guys, we all talk to each other. We're all saying the same thing. We're all looking out for each other.
If I was over there, I'd get y'all money too. I get y'all money too. I will. Y'all ain't special. Yeah, y'all might got a little bit more stamps in your passport book and all that, but y'all ain't special. Listen, as I say, women are all the same all around the country, all around the world. Men are too. Y'all say alphas, beat us and leave us alone. Just because you got a couple little bars upon your jacket, that don't mean you different. Y'all the same. Your money get taken too.
Again, like I said, I went down there. Everybody knows me. They say, oh, that guy's a happy-go-lucky guy. He just does his thing and whatever. No problems with me.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, we're going to talk about Donovan's topic. I've kind of seen it going around and making a conversation. I wasn't really invested. As y'all know, I'm not really that much online as I used to be anymore. But I've the only reason why I've seen it is because I've seen and heard people talking about it. So y'all got to pay attention to what she's saying, and I might play it again just so y'all can listen to the words. But this is Ciara, and I guess she has a new song. Hopefully I don't get in trouble or whatever. If God forbid you guys are watching this back and it's muted, it's because I had to for, whatever reason. So here it goes.
In money. This is for the girls that don't need no man. This is for the girls that's in love with themselves. This is for all the girls that done did it by themselves. This is for all the girls that's IMDEPENDNT. This is for all the girls that be living stress free. This is for all the girls on a mission like me.
I'm gonna play it again.
This is for the girls getting money. This is for the girls that don't need no man. This is for the girls that's in love with themselves. This is for all the girls that done did it by themselves. This is for all the girls that's IMDEPENDNT. This is for all the girls that be living stress free. This is for all the girls on a mission like me.
Hold on, I'm just taking notes. All right. That was the beautiful Ciara, who is married to Russell, Wilson, football player, and all of that. He's got lots of money. And, Ciara is actually the first Black woman owner of a Major League Baseball team. And he bought her masters. And so, Ciara don't want for nothing. Ciara got it going on. You know what I mean? She does. At this point, I think she's just making music because she's bored, I would imagine. And maybe, obviously it's her passion because, she started off in the music industry. I think she was discovered by Jermaine Dupri, if I'm not mistaken. She's like in that Atlanta-based type of music. So that's how we know Ciara. But in this particular song, she spelled out the words independent. My daughter actually had to point that out to me because I was like, what was she saying? Well, she was saying independent. Okay. She also said, this is for the girls. So it's called for the girls who need no man, is getting money, did it by herself, stress-free, and on a mission like me. That is what she said. And so, as I said, I've seen a lot of people have an issue with that. And so, Donovan, I'm going to give it to you because you actually brought it to me as a topic today. So what is your thoughts on this?
Hypocrisy at its finest. Hypocrisy at its finest. And I'm going to say it's hypocrisy for the simple fact that where Ciara is at, she's got the dream man, the guy that is a stepfather to one of her children, which is great. I mean, it's very hard to find men like that. A couple months, wasn't she talking about Ciara's prayer that, God answered her prayer because she was going through all these dusty guys, 50 Cent, Future, whoever these guys she was dating prior to meeting Russell Wilson because they weren't closing the deal with her. Now, my question is this. Why is a woman as successful as she is, her, Beyonce, Cardi B, so on, so forth, are writing the independent women don't need no man bullshit? Number one, because there's a market for it. I get that. But the point is they're not practicing what they preach. And that's the thing that gets me. And I don't have a problem with her doing whatever she's doing, but it looks kind of stupid. It really does. It looks totally ridiculous that women who listen to this kind of music, you had Beyonce with the single ladies put a ring on it, all this other stuff. You've got Ciara doing this here. You got Cardi B doing whatever there. You got WAP, you're doing all this stuff. You don't need no man, whatever. But the reality of the matter is these women all have either husbands or in serious relationships. Cardi B doesn't even let her daughter listen to the music that she puts out. I don't understand why these women who are in successful relationships, because I'm very sure she needs her man, why isn't she talking about love? Why isn't she talking about, oh, my man is, my relationship is this, or maybe the struggle she went through to get her man? Why aren't they putting those messages out? Because they know for a fact that they could continue to fool you. We were talking about propaganda Sunday. This is how strong propaganda is. People will be antiquated with this noise. And let's face it, in America, a lot of our women and our men have been indoctrinated for so long that we think this shit is normal now, to be independent. But now, and I'm kind of proud of the women that are waking up, because now they're seeing the hypocrisy of what she's talking about. And good thing for Ciara is this isn't a release single yet. It was just like a tidbit, give you a little piece to, kind of test the waters. So she's smart by not putting the whole thing out, because this would definitely sink her career completely. If you look at the backlash in the comments of, people that have heard the song, it sounds like a decent song to me. I guess people have problems with the lyrics, but I think it's very hypocritical. And I am proud of the women that are finally waking up and seeing that winter is here. And, with people facing high inflation, evictions, and all these things, hey, we need each other. This message of we don't need each other, that's people realizing that ain't working. That thing is not working. So big ups to to a lot of the women that are now stop listening to the propaganda and is really putting 2 and 2 together, saying, wait a minute, this doesn't make any sense. You're saying independent, but you're nothing near that.
I'm gonna hit you with a 1-2. It's gonna be a thought-provoking question, but I ain't gonna hit you with it right now, okay? Because I'm gonna play devil's advocate a little bit, but not at this moment. So you said, he's a stepfather to he being Russell to Ciara's son, Future Jr. I think that's his name. So Future is his father. At one point in time, Russell wanted to adopt him. He doesn't even reference him as a stepson. He says, that's my son. Told Future that we do not need your child support or any of that kind of stuff. So clearly he loves Future Jr. What else we got here? That prayer thing, I heard it, but didn't really pay a whole lot of attention to it. Did it work for Ciara? Yeah, maybe it did. I don't know. I don't know if it worked for her or not. Clearly it did. I have to take her word for it. And he said, I don't know why women are the Beyonce's and Ciara, people like that are making records like that. And they're married at one point in time, they were not married. So I would imagine that they did do those things up until they got married. But more than anything, it sells records. And, women empowerment is big to empower women. But I have a lot of questions, and I'll start with this. Like with a lot of women who are independent or say that they're independent or whatever, get a pushback. And a lot of those women are single. And as I always say, and I can't speak for all women who say that because I don't know. There's some women out there probably like, yeah, I'm independent, F no man, I don't need no man, right? But there's a lot of women that are independent because she's kind of left no choice. You know what I mean? If you're single, you're independent. That's just a fact. Now, a lot of those women would like to have a man, but for whatever reason, they don't. And so I think that sometimes gets kind of carried away. Then you brought up winter is coming. You said a lot of women in the comment section, they didn't agree with Ciara. Yeah, I think that's the elephant in the room, that Ciara is not independent per se. She has a man, so she needs a man and, all that other stuff. So yeah, it's a theme. It's a theme to empower women. I don't know if that's necessarily the way to do it, or I don't know if she's necessarily the right person to deliver that message. But I want to ask you this. Now, I'm quoting. This is not something that I'm saying, okay? When I say something to you like, bitches ain't nothing but hoes and tricks, what does that mean to you? Because it's like, men, y'all have your anthems too. I could go on forever about the anthems that men in music have about women. So if as a woman, and this is why I'm playing devil's advocate, because I want to try to bring some real thought-provoking content here, right? If I'm a woman and I continuously quoting, here, bitches ain't nothing but hoes and tricks as a woman, and then y'all mad at the women for saying I'm independent, how do you line those two things up that clearly they are mutually they're mutually exclusive, right? They don't go together. So if I'm hearing a man saying the bitches ain't nothing but hoes and tricks, and then a woman is saying, oh, I'm independent, it's like, well, why are we just mad at the women when there's so many other messages? Because it's like we're mad at the women for making these empowerment anthems, but rarely do we say anything about the men who send a message out that women ain't this, they ain't that, and ain't no fun, that the homie can't have none, all this other stuff that I don't love them though, I ain't gonna wife them, and all that other stuff. So I mean, even Jay-Z, y'all don't get mad at Jay-Z when he was talking about I ain't gonna wife him, I don't wife him no, or whatever, but he's married now. So I mean, help me out, help me understand the hypocrisy.
Well, like again, I don't know the answer, because when I hear music like that, I don't really care for it. I don't really care for East Coast music. I don't really care for women music like what's that one you're saying? Women ain't nothing but hoes and tricks. I don't.
That's West Coast.
Yeah, no, I know it's West Coast, but I don't like that. I never did like that song, so I'm not really the person to ask.
But here, that I told you those lyrics though.
Right. And I don't agree with those lyrics because again, I don't agree with those lyrics because I was raised by a widowed mother.
But I'm not asking you whether you agree with it, because you don't agree with Ciara, and I'm not saying you should. I'm just saying. So it's not a question of whether you agree with it or not, but I'm saying, how is it that one kind of jives, but the other one doesn't jive, and that we mad at women for saying I'm independent, I'm strong, I'm
if you're asking me, I know where you're going with it, but if you're asking me and just my generic opinion, the music industry is run predominantly by men, okay? For whatever reasons, patriarchy or whatever, and they do their thing, and this is acceptable versus that's acceptable, this is that, and they're the ones that calling most of the shots, right? And they exploit a lot of artists. So I would think that is the reason why there's like a double standard in how they market certain artists, and things are this and that. A good example, like the Interscope Records, when Death Row was getting their thing and stuff like that, Warner Brothers had to separate themselves because they were getting a lot of political pressure and all that other stuff. I mean, it's just a crazy thing, because like I said, if the message when the gangster rap started coming out, a lot of people who would have never had opportunities to express themselves would have never got that through that thing. But what I'm saying is this: for me, when gangster rap was coming out and was becoming a big thing, I was already in the military, so I wasn't really a part of the what it is and what they were saying in the subliminal messaging. I like I said, I don't think I'm the person to really ask that question, because I totally ignored all that.
I'm gonna call you to the carpet, Donovan. This is probably where we're gonna really fight. You gave me a whole. You ran around the playground. It's like I envisioned somebody running away from somebody on the playground, ran in circles, and I just asked you a simple question: why is it that basically, and maybe I need to say it again, there's a lot of rah-rah for Ciara's independent woman song, but it's not that much for when men, say, well, we don't need no woman. No, we ain't gonna, wife her. We ain't gonna make her an honest woman. We just need
okay. Okay. Well, okay. Put it like this: the Ciara thing, it's more women complaining. I don't really see a lot of guys in the comments talking about it. Really, it's mostly women saying, "Hey, what's going on here? You got a man." Blah blah blah. When the men in the gangster aspect or whatever were doing it, I guess that's machismo or something. They just think that's what manhood is. Doesn't mean it's right, but I just think that's probably why they just say, we're going to go do all this. But then again, you also see the men that high five that bullshit are the ones that are having multiple babies, running around here being irresponsible, so on and so forth.
Yeah, I mean, I guess what I'm trying to say is, and I would just answer for myself. I mean, and I always say this too. I mean, those people Ciara she's not influential over my life. You know what I mean? I don't think Ciara, I don't know how powerful she is to women and that they gonna say, because that to me, when I hear Ciara getting the blame, and listen, I'm not a spokeswoman for Ciara, but when I hear her getting the blame for trying to make women independent, I also hear in the back of my mind that whole welfare argument. Oh, the black woman threw the black man out the house for a $12 welfare check. You know what I mean? And so it's like, I don't know if she's influencing women to say, well, yeah, you're right. I don't need no man, and let's keep it 100. Because, like, I know a lot of times on this thing we call the internet, we hear a lot of people lie to kick it. There are a lot of women doing it by themselves. So are we mad that she's saying it? Or are we mad that it's true? Like, because it's a reality. I'm doing it by myself, but I'm a single woman. So, but it's not something I'm running around and saying, oh, I'm doing it all by myself. I mean, I think that's obvious, right? But so if it's true, then where is the problem? She's saying this is for the women that's doing it by themselves. You know how many women that don't want to do it by themselves?
Right, but here's the problem. A majority of the women aren't doing it by themselves. That's the problem. If you are receiving, wait. If you are receiving child support, anything like that, all this Section 8, all that other stuff, technically you're not independent. Independent means you are getting no support from any outside sources, period.
I stabbed my tongue up on that one. I really did. I stabbed my brother, you said the majority of women are not doing it by themselves. And then you went on to say, because they're getting child support, they're getting, welfare, whatever. That, come on, man. You know damn well that ain't true. You know the majority of women ain't out there that's doing it by themselves and not getting some subsidy. You know that.
I disagree with you. They're getting they're getting some type of subsidy.
How? How do you, where? How? Tell me how.
Okay, I'll give you a recent example. Why are 60% of all people facing eviction in the United States black women, single black women? Why?
Is that mostly black? Okay, because listen, I suck in numbers, but I do understand statistics a little bit. You said 60% of all black women, or 60? I'm going to let you clarify that.
60% of women that are being evicted are black women.
Is it 60% of all black women being evicted?
No.
Oh. So then we come into some problems with mathematics. See, because it's all how you phrase it. It ain't 60% of women, so that's not the majority of black women. Because it's a play on words. The 60% of black women, the women that are getting evicted, for what you say, I haven't seen any data, so I'll take your word for it at this moment. 60% of women getting evicted are black, not 60% of black women are getting evicted. You see how different that sounds?
Yeah, it sounds different, but here's the thing. Black women, independent single women, are leading the eviction rates in the United States. Facts.
I mean, but one could probably argue that, in relation to men, black men are probably leading in getting evictions among men.
No.
Why not?
Because we don't even qualify for subsidies to do that, number one. So if we're already out there, if we're already out there, we're out there. So we're not leading. Men do not get, able-bodied men in most cases do not get Section 8. We don't get child support in a lot of cases because we don't have our children. So again, a lot of women that think and keep saying that they're independent aren't really independent. Again, the definition of independence is, throw out everything else. Independence is you are of your own fruition, using your own money, your own stuff. Most women aren't doing that.
I didn't fall asleep, y'all. I was really in deep thought. How the hell am I getting evicted if I'm getting subsidies?
Because a lot of landlords are not taking Section 8s anymore.
Boy.
They're not. It's coming down the pipe. A matter of fact, there was an article that was written coming down that, remember, I think it was a couple months ago, and I kept talking about the eviction moratorium being lifted and what was going to happen and what was going to happen. They're saying that if we do not address the issue with the Section 8 system and getting these people into home, because a lot of landlords aren't doing it, we're going to have a massive, massive homeless problem. It's coming down the pipe.
You do know that more white people get Section 8 than black people, right?
Of course.
Right. So the other thing too is I want to go back to your thing. The most black women or 60% of black women are not getting evicted. Okay. And if a woman is getting all these subsidies and a man cannot get all these subsidies, I mean, seems like to me she'd be having a harder time getting evicted. There are a lot of people who still take Section 8. So it's not like it's just completely gone away. So when you say that these women who are saying they're independent are not on their own, that's a damn lie. There's a less, but I would venture, and I don't have any hard numbers here, but I know if I get off of here and I go look, it ain't gonna take me long to find it, that most independent black women, now when we say independent, we mean the true sense of the word independent, that she is by herself and she is taking care of herself, are not on any subsidies or welfare. Because let's keep it real, brother. Nowhere in this United States, unless it's somewhere deep down in the Delta of Mississippi somewhere, are you going to be able to take care of yourself on no welfare. So I'm talking about the true independent black woman like myself that is not that way on my own. It's not my choice to be single, but I am. So I am taking care of myself, and I'm not getting any subsidies. I pay my medical coverage and my dental and all of that out of my pocket. Not nobody is subsidizing anything that I have.
Right. You are a small number. You're a small number.
I'm not a small number. I'm not a small number. Prove me wrong. Where's your
okay, let's say this. In a couple of months, when you have major cities declaring an emergency in homelessness, because that is what's happening in a lot of cities, for that they can get the resources from the federal government to address the homelessness issue. It's happening. And I was talking about this 4 months ago. It's happening. And in our community, the Black community, it is affecting more single mothers than any other person in our groups. Not you, the independent woman, not me, the independent man. It's the independent woman who has children on Section 8, because again, here they're giving out vouchers. Nobody is accepting them.
But see, that wasn't the original argument. The original argument was independent women. And you said most independent, you said the majority was your words of independent women are getting some subsidy. Then you went on to say 60% of black women getting
the women that call themselves independent.
And
then a lot of women call themselves independent and they're actually not.
Well, you don't know that. You don't know that. Is this a myth again?
Well, the numbers don't lie.
That's some stuff about the internet. You ain't gave me no data at all to back up anything that you said. That most
I did. I was talking about independent women 4 months ago. You remember that when the eviction moratorium was up.
Where's the data?
I did give you data.
Nah, it was wrong. It was wrong, and I debunked it. Was wrong.
You didn't debunk it. No, you didn't debunk it. No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
Because you cut me off, don't mean that I'm not going to bring you the facts, okay? Because I remember the argument very well. The argument, and you made it, and even everybody, a lot of people in the comment section was saying, where is your data? Where is your data? So later on, you sent me your data, because your argument was that you said 70-something% of Black people are getting welfare. That's what you said, right? Let's just for clarification.
Well, I don't think I said welfare, but I said at the poverty line, above the poverty line, or
nah, that ain't what you said, brother. Nah,
I don't think the issue was welfare. I don't think the issue was welfare.
You said 70-something% of Black people are getting some form of welfare. That's what you said. Okay. So then I forgot all about it, and you made a post a couple of days later, and you tagged me in it, saying, see, here is the data. I went to Google. It took me like 2 minutes to debunk what you said. And it was like 20-something% of African Americans on welfare. Now, when you were taking, let's say, 30% of Black people on Medi-Cal, 20% of Black people are getting food stamps, and then, another whatever percent that makes it 70. And you combined all of those numbers. But what you didn't count, and again, I suck in math, but I know statistics a little bit, is that I could also be on food stamps, Medi-Cal, and cash aid, because more than likely, if you're on cash aid, you're probably getting food stamps and Medi-Cal. So you counted all, so that still could be one person. So I debunked what you said. That's over 70% of Black people are getting welfare. And that's where and you brought it right back up, saying you proved it. You did not prove it. There's no data to back up what
I disagree. I disagree with your data. If you disagree with mine, I disagree with yours. I disagree.
That's fine, but you're wrong. You're wrong. And anybody
I think you're wrong. I think you're wrong.
It ain't what you know.
You're using wait, no. What it is I have a data set that I pulled from. You've got a data set that you pull from. You believe your data. Wait. You believe your data is right. I believe my data is right. That's where we're at. Yours is wrong. Yours is wrong.
Okay,
because when I see Black people running around here, leaving in the streets, you can't tell me my data is wrong.
You can't tell me dead wrong. Your data is dead wrong. It's about 20.
That's fine.
It's about
That's
I think
fine.
20. Can I talk?
That's fine. With all the Black people being evicted in the streets and stuff, your data is correct. Then that's fine.
It ain't my data. It's the data that I researched. It ain't my data.
Well, whatever you research isn't what we're seeing. It isn't reality.
Oh, so you just made up some numbers and now that's reality.
All I'm saying is the data that I used is what I believe. The data that you used is what I don't believe.
Sound like Jim Jones to me. But anyway. Yeah, because it's wrong. And you're wrong. And that's the crazy part. Like this, I'm gonna tell you like this one.
No, I'm gonna stand on it 10 toes down. I don't believe I'm wrong.
Let me say what I got to say. It sucks to be wrong. It's hard to take the L when you're wrong. Trust me, I know I'm an Aries. Look, I'm an Aries. I represent the Aries.
Demetra, you are never wrong. Have you noticed that? You are never wrong.
No. Listen, I'm an Aries, okay? And it's hard for us to be wrong. Okay?
I'm a Taurus. It's hard for me to be wrong.
But I'm one of those people that if I'm wrong, I say I stand corrected. I've made a copious amount of videos where I've said some things that were wrong, and I might put in the comment section or the description, I was wrong, I stand corrected. Like, I know it sucks, brother, but the one thing that you can't do when you're wrong and you won't admit you're wrong is grow. Okay, now anybody that's watching this broadcast, this program, as old people will say, my program, anybody watching this could quickly Google what I just said and what you just said, and they're gonna come back and say, oh, this Negro is on some special sauce because he making up stuff. It's like that number doesn't even exist, right? But that's fine. It's America. You can be wrong as the day is long and ain't gonna hurt nobody but you. But on this show, I want to make sure that people get the right information. Now, by me not being wrong a lot is because I don't speak about things I have no knowledge of. That's the secret. Anybody want the secret of being right most of the time? Is stop putting your foot up your own ass and opening your mouth and talking about stuff you don't know what you're talking about. That's how you stay right.
Right. Okay, good. I'm glad you said that, because as somebody who's never lived in Asia, who's never all this passport stuff and that you talk about, I've been there and you still tell me I'm wrong.
Have you ever lived in Willacoochee, Massachusetts?
No, but I stayed at the Holiday Inn there.
Right, you ain't never lived there. So there's a lot of places in the United States you ain't never lived either. You don't know nothing about. So me living in Asia or anywhere else don't mean that I don't know something. Then you been there because you live in Asia.
But every time I bring my experience, you always tell me I'm wrong.
No,
and you never lived there. And you never lived there.
You a lie. You a lie. I'll never tell you because I can't tell you about your experience. What I'm saying is Asia is very big. So you know about the experiences you had in Asia, but you can't sit up and say you know everything about Asia.
No, I never said that. I said when I'm in the Philippines or wherever I've lived.
Right. So, I mean, I never say that you're wrong about yours. How the hell I'm going to tell you wrong about what you've experienced?
Well, like I told you when you asked me the question about the Philippines and how they rate the families, I told you what it is, my experience, and you bring up your sister-in-law. Yeah, your sister-in-law. Right, which is two totally different things.
Agreed. Anything else? I mean, I'm just saying, brother. Y'all, I'm telling y'all, I already told y'all at 2023, y'all ain't getting away with this nonsense y'all been getting away with. I'm sorry. Because I wouldn't want
and
nobody
vice versa. And vice versa.
Y'all been getting away with the nonsense for too long. Too long. Okay. And this ain't even got nothing to do with men, it's just people in general. Like, I'm one of those people. I think y'all by now, y'all know I'm very outspoken, and I think y'all could pretty much ascertain that I do well in the mental department. But I just see a lot of men and women, and I'm not saying I'm all knowing. I'm not just saying some ridiculous stuff, and people won't check them. Now, when you come on here or anywhere, you know, in one of my platforms, I'm gonna say something to you, because I don't think we do each other a good service by just saying stuff and we have no knowledge or no proof of what you're saying. Like they say in the nation, it's not what you know, it's what you can prove. Like, I know something, but that don't mean it's right. Back it up with some mathematics. Back it up with some science, some data, some something, not just because I say it. And I'm going to say this to men. I love y'all. Yes, I do. But I do want to say this. Just because you got a little bit of extra things going on down there, that don't make you right because you a man. Just like, it don't make me right because I got a little something up here because I'm a woman. Like, what is it? Show me, like in elementary school. Show your work. Okay, how did you get to this 2 + 2? Johnny, Sally, can you show me your work? Back it up.
No, I can't, because I was raised on flashcards.
Idiots.
It's the truth. I was raised on flashcards. For those of us in our generation that had problems with algebra, that's why you had problems, because you memorized the answer and you couldn't work your way to it. But I want to say this as we exit. Demetra, I want you to look at me very, very closely. Look at me very, very closely. It's not a lie if you believe it.
Now we done got to the bottom of the truth. Y'all just been repeating these lies for so long. You're brainwashed. Brainwashed. You just believe it.
That is a Seinfeld quote. You did get that, right? George Costanza. It's not a lie if you believe it.
Never watched Seinfeld.
Okay. That's a Seinfeld quote. It's not a lie if you believe it.
That must be the foundation of all the nonsense that be on the internet. I'm serious. Like, sometimes I be listening and watching stuff and I'm like, what's wrong with these people? This don't even line up nowhere. And they just be saying stuff like, I don't know.
But think about it. It makes sense. Look at all these women. I'm independent, and they're not, because they believe
all right. You reminded me of something that I forgot. And thank you for saying that. See, what happened when you open your mouth and you make me remember stuff. Again, as I said, and it's not even my original thought. This comes all the way back to Marcus Garvey, the Nation of Islam, and everybody else. If your black woman is 60% among the homeless women women about to be evicted, that's your fault as a black man. That y'all as black men would even profess that out your mouth without even having a solution behind it. Your woman, the black woman, belongs to you. Your woman is getting her stuff and her children thrown out into the streets. Where is that man to say, not so, not on my watch? Because I tell y'all about my daughter's father all the time, and all the stuff that we've been through. My daughter's father, when he didn't have a place to lay his head, now mind you, me and my daughter's father have not been together since my daughter was 1, okay? But there's times, because he's not from California, when stuff got rough and he needed a place to stay, I got a couch. And when I was my first apartment by myself with my daughter, he slept on in one bedroom on my couch. And I said, you can sleep there as long as you need. You know why? Because that was my daughter's father. And I was not, if I could help it, have my daughter's father homeless, right? Because regardless if we wasn't together, all the stuff we've been through, he was my responsibility, because I had to look at my daughter every day and think about her father going from pillar to post and not having a foundation until he got on his feet. And so as a black woman that felt like that about my black daughter's father, why is it that y'all men, and I'm speaking to you, Donovan, I want you to answer that to me, run around here with all this data but y'all ain't got no solution for your black woman getting thrown out in the street.
I'm glad you asked me that. I can't wait till you ask me that. Because the solution is very, very simple, Demetra. I want you to look at me in the eye. Get on the man's page. Do what you got to do to what the man wants you to do in regards to being with him or whatever. It can't be. There's no way you can tell me it's that hard. You had a baby with him. It shouldn't be that hard. If you guys can work it out to have a baby, the things that he asks you to do to be a good wife or to be a good girlfriend, cook, clean, whatever. It's a very simple thing. Get on the man's page, because a real man is not going to get on your page. Simple as that.
You mean to tell me every woman out there that's getting thrown up out in the streets is a hard-headed Hannah? She ain't listening to a man. So you trying to tell me that? No, I'm not saying that. You asked me for a solution. You didn't say. I said that's one of the solutions. That's a solution. I guess we'll be here forever, but I'm just saying. Yeah, I gave you a solution. I'm saying, but y'all got all. I'm not saying you per se. Y'all got all the rah-rah about these sisters being thrown out up in the street. But yet, y'all ain't got no solution other than get on my page. What if y'all not the, what y'all for that reason didn't work it out? So she got to be up on the street. A man worth his weight. And I'm gonna tell you, name me another race of men running around talking about, oh, Asian women are 60% of their women getting evicted. Mexican women. Name me another race of man that's doing that. They're not doing that because their women respect them. You know what, Donovan? I just like. It's the truth. There's a part, because I've known you for so long. Yeah, it's the truth, though. There's a part of me. You're dealing with cultures that have been raised to respect their men. Period. Brother, you oversimplifying it. You putting this all on the woman is what you're doing. You putting this. No, I'm not putting it all on the woman. The men. It takes two. It takes two. So when you say a woman needs to get on his page, yes, that's putting it all up on the woman. No, it's putting it up on the man, because if he has the plan, she needs to support his plan and support him in what they're doing. If I'm going to get with the woman, as you know, when I'm with the woman, she's on my page. I pay for everything. I do what I need to do as a man. A man needs to be wanted. He needs to do certain things. That's my page. I can't say what other guys are going to do. I'm saying what my page is. If when I deal with the woman and she does not want to get with my agenda and my program, we're not going to work. It's as simple as that. I'm not saying she has to stay home. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is this is the direction I want to take the family. If you don't want to go in that direction, then you need to go that way. Most of my successful friends that have been married, the man leads, she supplements him and follows his program. She is on his program. A house divided cannot stand. But that's how simple it is. Again, you put that all up on a woman. That if she don't tap dance or get on his page or do everything you want, you said cook and clean a minute ago, then my ass needs to be out on the street. That's all on her. Right. A woman is not built, technically was not built to be out here to deal with the stressors outside of the home. That's what the man was, but that's why men were dying earlier than the woman. Now you got the women dying the same rate as a man. So what woman do you personally know, and I know you're going to lie to kid, that is saying, I would rather be out on the street than because what you're saying, from what I hear you saying, is that there's a man available waiting for that woman that's getting thrown up out on the street to say, all right, honey, I'm going to do it your way. Well, we know statistically speaking that there are more black available women than there are available men. Yeah, correct. No, I can't say there's going to be a man available for that woman, whatever. And there is no woman that I'm aware of that says, let me be on the streets. But unfortunately, because of the decisions a lot of us make, men and women, be it the drugs they use or the financial decisions that they use in regards to repossess cars or lost the job or whatever, these things happen. And I agree with you. For men to give these statistics, like I have given the statistics, but I also rang the alarm about 4 months ago. Putting that out there saying, hey, this is what's happening. You guys are thinking everything is good. It's not. And it's coming.
So I agree with you on that. But can we agree this? Two things could be correct at the same time.
It just depends on what those two things are.
Right. Exactly. But we can agree that two things can be correct at the same time.
Yeah, it just depends on what it is.
And what it is, right.
It could.
I'm just saying, the way I feel about it, women and men, we are never going to be equal. I don't care what anybody says. We are not equal. Women have babies. Men do not. Men are stronger. Women are not. So on, so forth. Physically. So on, so forth. Women may be smarter. Men maybe not. I don't know. But the point is we're not equal. My point is we're not equal. You got yin and you got yang, and those components go together, and they work and they build together. When they're separate by themselves, they don't work as well. That's what I believe.
So I'm going to say this. Regardless of what's going on, the eviction rate and all that other stuff, I am one of those people. Yes, I like how I get close. I am one of those people that say, and I've always said, and I will continue to say until I die, Black men and Black women need each other. I'm not on that divisiveness of trying to separate Black men away from Black women. I do not believe in that. I believe that the Black woman has some correction to do. And I believe the Black man has some correction to do. But I also believe that we are each other's responsibility. That's why I say when I hear people dividing Black men and women, I shake my head, because it's like, if they only knew what they were doing. Black people are the pillar of the earth. We are the salt of the earth. And yet we sit up and have arguments over, I'm going to get a man over here. I'm getting a woman over here. And I'm all this other stuff. But yet nobody else is talking like that about their man or their woman. It's Black people doing the stuff. And it's like me and my daughter having this conversation about the vaudeville or the chitlin circuit behavior that's coming in. And I actually want to do a in-depth study. I've studied it, but I want to do like a series of it. You're starting to see a lot of Black men and women on the internet doing raccoonish stuff, if you will, eating chicken and watermelon and, doing the most. And to me, the divestors and the manosphere, as far as Black people, fall in the same arena as that. You're talking, because when you talk about dividing from your Black man and your Black woman, you have to talk disparagingly about that other person. Oh, the Black woman ain't this, the Black man ain't that, and all that. So what we do is we're on a stage for everybody else to see that. And it's like, no, none of those people really want to be with Black people like that. They want to be Black people or like Black people, but they ain't trying to be with Black people like that. It's not like this big thing like Black women can just go be with white men or other men, and they're just like, come here. Because we know as Black women, and Black women, if y'all don't know, we are fetishized just as much as the men are fetishized. As far as being a fetish. Oh, she's exotic. Oh, I just want me a Black woman to see how it is. But they know none of these white men, these brads, or even the Asian men, they can't take you home. I knew an Indian dude back in the day. He was like, I love Black women. Oh, they were my weakness. As far as his family was concerned, he was a virgin. They had his wife arranged in India. She was supposed to come to America and they was going to get married. They finally did. But this man, he ran around with the sisters. He said, if it was up to me, I would be with a sister. However, my family ain't going for that. My wife, I already know that. I don't know her, but they know who she is. So he couldn't marry no sister. But he was up in the sisters, couldn't be with them. So the point that I'm making is, they know that they are meant for each other. They are taught that. They do not deviate from that in the long run. They might stray, but they don't deviate. Just like there's a lot of other women out there hopping on Black men. He's fine and he's wailing down and all this other stuff, but she ain't taking you home to her daddy. You ain't going to be hopping over the broom with that white woman, Asian woman, or whoever. Not like y'all or we, the men and women and the divestors and the manosphere are talking. Y'all acting like there's this big old nation of other people trying to get with them. So it's like, to me, when I often hear this speak of, oh, don't get you a Black man, don't get you a Black woman, a Black woman, don't get you a Black man, I envision square peg trying to go into a round hole. You're trying to force it, right? It's like in nature, because Donovan, you like to talk about nature a lot. Tell me the last time you seen an antelope running around with a bear.
Doesn't happen.
You don't see it. Yeah. But yet that's what we talk. That's what we try to do. Oh, I'm a bear. Go get with an antelope. You know, it's like some places it makes sense. And listen, y'all know my family. My nieces and nephews, they're mixed with everything you can think of. Okay, I love them dearly, and I fight anybody over. Okay, but the point that I'm making is we got to stop with the messages of division. And I'll say this to y'all, and I said this to Donovan before we came on here. But the people that's causing division in the Black community, if you believe in karma, and y'all that read the Bible, y'all believe in that, and in the Bible, there's a price to pay for dividing your own people. There's a price to pay. And I won't do it, right? Like I see a lot of people with mega views and things like that. And I'm like, well, yeah, they got a lot of views dogging Black women, or they got a lot of views dogging Black men for money. So those people fall in line to me with the chitlin circuit as well. You performing for peanuts at the detriment of your own people.
Well, you got to think about it like this too. Jesus Christ himself was sold out for 13 pieces of silver. So that tells you one thing at all. But Sunday we were talking about propaganda, how strong propaganda is and how strong it is. And it is here and it is around us. The internet is propaganda. And unfortunately, what we know about propaganda, Demetra, and you're in public relations and media and stuff like that, that propaganda is used on the weak-minded. And there's a lot of people who rather just go along to get along and just go with the sound bite, and they think that that's the truth. And that's one of our major problems. Propaganda is so strong. You got to know how to differentiate the propaganda. And the one thing that I always live by, and I tell people, especially the people that always complain about, the things ain't going the way that they want them to go. The very energy you put out is the very energy you're going to get back. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. For my master's, my thesis was on propaganda and rhetoric, and that it works on the ignorant, which is how you had your Hitlers and your Jim Jones and all that stuff. So I studied them to some degree, and I understand how it works, and I see it playing out before our very eyes with a lot of things. There's a lot of cults running around the internet, and a lot of people don't even realize they're in a cult, because that's how propaganda works. It's an appeal to emotions. Get them emotionally invested in my ideology, whether it's right or it's wrong, and they will never question whether it's right or wrong because it feels good, right? It feels good. I feel like they're telling the truth. So anyway, let's play this card game, and then we will get out of here. I hope you guys are enjoying yourselves so far. I know it gets kind of heated, but that's good. Iron sharpens iron, All right, so here we go. We got three questions.
I said what I said, but go ahead.
Let me shut my mouth, because you don't get me started, okay? When in a relationship, do you feel it's appropriate to have? No, I thought I took that one out. Let me go with this one. Did I do this one as well? I'm not sure. Could you continue being with someone you're no longer physically attracted to? Why or why not? Did I ask that one before? I did ask that before, huh? Okay, your significant other is angry and upset about something that happened at work. How do you calm him or her down?
Boil a cup of coffee and listen to what happened for the day, pretty much.
Yeah, I like that. For me, I would just say, hey, sorry you're having a bad day. You want to talk about it? What happened? And like you said, it really just it just depends. Just listening, and then maybe you could give advice. This is one thing I would say for me that I'm learning. Even this late in life, it's okay not to give advice all the time. Sometimes you just need to listen. Because that has been not a strong suit of mine. I'm one of those people that I want to fix it. You know what I mean? And somebody says, "Oh, I'm having a problem, and this is going on," and to me, I'm like, oh, okay, that seems like an easy fix. This is what you do. Do A, B, C, and D. But then I'm learning that not everybody wants advice. They just want an ear. They just want somebody to actively listen. Mm-hmm. Oh, really? Oh, okay. Because sometimes people just want to get it off their chest. And so that's what I would do. I would say, you know, I'm sorry, having a bad day. Is something you want to talk about? And they say, yeah. Then, you know, we listen. And then if they are open to solutions or suggestions. Now, normally, you know, somebody wants advice if they say, well, what do you suggest? What would you do? Now, if that don't come behind it, you just say, well, I hope tomorrow at work, you know, things go better. Hopefully, you know, that was just a one-off or whatever the situation was. And, you know, if it happens again, you want to talk, you know, I'll always be here for you and I'll be, you know, more than happy to listen. So I was trying to find something that we didn't talk about. And I'm trying to look here. Let's see really quick. No, I don't want to do that one. Okay, I think this is a good one. Tell me about your 3 closest friends and what influences they have on your life.
My 3 closest friends. I really don't have 3 closest friends other than acquaintances. Okay, let me be serious here. 3 closest friends. Okay, as you guys see, one of them is on this panel here, and she drives me crazy because you can't tell her nothing. And she's a very strong-willed woman, which is the way she should be. But wait, tell me the last part of the question.
Tell me about your 3 closest friends and what influences they have on your life.
The influence that Demetra has on my life, other than the fact that she's giving me the perspective to look at it from a woman's perspective. But just because I look at it from a woman's perspective doesn't mean I agree with it. I just want to look at it from a woman's perspective and put myself in that situation. Other than that, let's see. Most of my friends, and they're more than 3, we come from the same environment, the same background, so we have a lot of the same value systems. Again, you guys, I always clarify everything. I was born in a military aspect. I do not operate in gray. But what I bring to them is they codify where I stand as a man, because we all have the same thing. All my friends that are close to me like that, we're all very successful in regards to, there's really nobody doing drugs. There's really nobody having these outside problems. Everybody's really, really doing well and doing that. So we uplift each other and keep in contact with each other. Because a lot of my friends, like Demetra herself, have been friends for mine since we were kids. And that's pretty much how we roll.
Whew, this is a good one because I have a few good friends. So it says, tell me about your 3 closest friends and what influences they have on your life. So I'll name Donovan right off the rip. Donovan is one of my closest friends, if not probably, you know, the closest. He's up there because I talk to Donovan a lot. I've probably known him longer than any of my other friends. I would say that is true. Influence that Donovan has had on my life is stress. I'm just playing. No, I would say Donovan is one of those people that he's very confident, and Donovan's like, when he says something, it's a wrap, and he's gonna do it. You know, like Donovan, he's one of those tried and true friends, even though he good on Donovan's not gonna leave you hanging. If he say he gonna do something, he gonna do it. Donovan is like, he is to me like the executioner, right? He says something and then he'll manifest it. I don't care what it is, you know? And so one of the influences he's had on me is whatever you put your mind to, you can do it. Now, I know that sounds very cliche, but Donovan is one of those good examples of people you will see that in motion. Like, it's not one of those, well, I'll give you a perfect example. This Negro, the other day, was talking about a bike. I would turn my bike into an electric, whatchamacallit. And he did it. You know what I mean?
E-bike. Yeah, e-bike.
An e-bike. Now, I know Donovan has never made an e-bike before, but he's like, I'm going to turn my bike into an e-bike, and he did it, right? So he's a really, really, really good example of manifestation. And that if I can think it, then I can surely do it. And so that has given me a lot of inspiration to, just to keep plugging. Y'all know that this show is largely in part to Donovan. I was doing it just on Facebook back in the day, and he was like, nah, you need to come up out of the room and come to the studio. So we started doing the show in the studio, and then the pandemic hit and I moved, and so the rest is history. So Donovan will make you go further than you think you can go. So I love and appreciate Donovan for that. I have another good friend, Ed. I love Ed. I've known Ed not as long as I've known Donovan, but I've known Ed a long time. And I'll tell you one thing about Ed. I think he's a psychic, because whenever I'm going through something, I kid you not, my phone will ring. And I'm like, how did you know? He's like, I don't know. I just feel like I heard from you in a minute. I want to check on you. And it just be just like right on time. And Ed is one of those people, Donovan too, but Ed is one of those people who's like, I'm not going to give you the advice that makes you feel good. I'm going to give you the advice that you need, even though it's uncomfortable. I'm going to tell you the uncomfortable truth about you. Plus, he is one of those people, I don't care what it is. If you need something, and he'll come through, that type of thing. So, and then, oh my God, I have so many friends. But I will say, you guys know that I was in a relationship, with Al for 6 years, give or take. And even though we are not together anymore, it was that long. Even though we're not together anymore, in case anybody didn't know that, we're not together anymore. We still talk every day. We're friends. I consider him a close friend, because how could you not, right? How could you not consider someone that you were with that long as a close friend? We do have our issues sometimes, it gets rough, but at the end of the day, he is my friend, and I am his friend. So I would say those three. And of course, there's so many other people. I have a Corliss. She's my good friend. I have a Sharon. So it just, the list just goes on and on. I know somebody I forgot is going to probably get mad at it, charge it to my mind, not my heart. But anyway, was that 3? No, one more. When you look in the mirror, what kind of person do you see?
Does it get any better than this? Does it get any better than this? 53. I'll be 53 this year. I mean, come on. It's hey, it is what it is. No, what I see is a perplexed person, and a person that is still searching, still learning, still reaching, still striving. My biggest problem is in this world, when you don't have dreams, you die. Not to toot my own horn, but everything that I dreamed of as a child, I achieved. So I have to find new dreams and new things to do. In regards to what Demetra was saying about like her show, when I saw her doing the show, I was like, hey, here's the person that's in this field. And I was pushing her to do that, because I put some of my aspirations into her dream, which her mother already told her this is what she was going to do. And like a proud father, when I see Demetra has moved on and gotten a bigger platform, that makes me feel a lot better about myself, in regards that she is known on the new Black media as a very viable person to deal with when it comes to issues within our community. And I'm kind of proud of that, even though she already had the complete package. But sometimes when you have the complete package, you need the person to light the skyrocket to get it going. And that's where one of my biggest things. But when I look at myself, that's what I see. I see a complex person that's still trying to figure it out, and it's still trying to find where I fit in my post-working years.
And I would say too, just picking up back off of that, Donovan had another show called Loving the Skin Our Men. And it was actually 2 other women that was on the show. And I just came by it one day as a guest appearance type of thing. And they didn't show up anymore. And so that's how Donovan and I really started this format as far as the podcast. If y'all go back and see our older stuff, that's how that came about, because those 2 women, they came once or twice and they never showed back up. And so I was like, okay, this is fine. I'm going to continue to do it, because I'm not a quitter. You know what I mean? And so this is how, you know, we've gone about it, and you know, we've gone and interviewed a whole bunch of people, and it was just, you know, a lot of fun. And so, yeah, I would say Donovan is one of those people. Is like he sees other people's, you know, their dreams and things. He's like, okay, well, what can I do to help? Or even before you even know it, he says, well, I've done this. I built this podcast. And I want, you know, I know that I give Donovan a hard time about Black women. I have my issues with Donovan and Black women, but I've always said this about Donovan. The podcast that he built, Loving the Skin I'm In, was for Black women. I was just only other Black women that continued to show up. So, you know, that's kind of how it got started. And also, I like to say too, with Donovan, you know, he gave me a lot of experience with in my PR field, because Donovan was one of my first clients when he was running for office. I was his, you know, PR professional, all of that, right? It was speech and the dress, all of that. So I kind of got on the map, and I got other connections, political connections, working with Donovan. And so, you know, like I said, he get on my nerves, but one thing I ain't gonna never do is say Donovan ain't been there for me. Like Donovan has seen me when I was at my lowest. I'll give y'all a story. One time we was working together, you know, it's political season, and I had just got out of my marriage, and I came back to California from Humble, Texas. I didn't have nothing. My daughter had a car, and somebody stole the damn car. Oh my God, it was the only car of transportation we had. I'm telling you, we was down bad. We was down bad. So Donovan just happened to be taking me home, and my daughter calls and said, oh, I let Chris, that's my nephew, I let him use the car, and he got it stolen from the store. So I was just, and Donovan, you know, Donovan being a man and a military man, he never broke cadence. He was like, well, I'm sure everything's going to be okay. It's just, don't worry, everything's going to be okay. And I was just, I was like, no, it's not. You don't understand.
I remember that.
Everything's gone to shit. And all these years later, I'm still standing. So, you know, Donovan, boy, he was probably like, damn, this chick, she got a lot going on.
Put it like this for you guys that don't know. Even Demetra has a very strong, you would think if you didn't know her, a strong attribute. She's soft like butter. She's soft like butter on the inside.
Yes. So, okay. So they're really quick to answer my question. That just brought me, I was cracking up because back then it wasn't funny, but it's funny now. When I look in the mirror, I see a work in progress. You know, I know a lot of times I've had conversations with people off the air, and they were like, you know, on air, because I tell people my story. I don't care what it is. They're like, on air, you seem like you got it all together. I said, well, I got it a lot more together than I used to. I said, I'm a work in progress, and that's what I see. But I would say when I look in the mirror, I see somebody that hasn't given up and somebody that has not given up. And Donovan, you actually gave it a good description when I was going through last year. You said Demetra is like a phoenix rising. She may get knocked down, but she'll get back up. And that's what I see. I see somebody who will keep fighting until the day I die. I don't care what it is. I'm going to be resilient. I'm going to get back up 20 times if I need to get to where I need to go. So that's what I see. I see a phoenix rising, and I hope that I don't have to, you know, come from the ashes again. But that's what I see. I see somebody who's evolving, that's rising, and that refuses to give up no matter what. So anyway, you got any more last words?
Well, I will say this. I know you guys see Demetra and we get very contentious. I am a man. She is a woman. And this is what happens when people are strongly opinionated about how they feel. But the difference is you can disagree and still be friends. Demetra, I see people, they get into one argument, you know, and they can't even cross the street together. You know what I mean? They're just done. But that's the point about being an adult. And if we can't show our children and the younger adults how to be adults, this is why everything is going topsy-turvy, because we as adults aren't the example of, you know, we know people fall out and stuff like that. But even in the fallout, you should never take anything personal, because one thing I do know about Demetra, And I'm a very good judge of character people that I surround myself with me. I will never surround myself with people that I know that will willingly backstab me at the first chance they get. So, yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at.
And I agree with you. And, you know, I know a lot of times people are like, oh my God, are y'all still friends? Like this stuff y'all see now, this ain't nothing compared to when we first started this podcast, man. It would be on like Donkey Kong. And so that's why I try to tell y'all at the beginning of this, it's probably going to get contentious, but it's all love. I mean, once we get off of here, we talking about stuff that we don't hold it like, I ain't calling him because we don't even think about it no more. It's because we're having a conversation. And so that's why I tell y'all, we're not fighting. We don't hate each other. We just don't agree on 99% of certain things, right? But I think at the end of the day, we both of our goal is really just to make ourselves better and make everybody else better. I would think that's what it is, but nah, it ain't never that serious to where we are going to never speak again. I would say that's true about Donovan. One thing about Donovan is he don't have no problem cutting people off. I'd be like, what happened to homegirl? Oh yeah, I got to cut her loose. I'm like, for real? Damn. But
I miss her.
But it ain't even that. Is because a lot of the times they would be on some really silly stuff, and I would always tell Donovan, you know what? That's pretty big of you, because I know you really liked her and she was cute and she was fine, but she wasn't on the same page with him. Like, I'm not gonna tell his business, but he had one chick that was doing some financial chicanery, and they came to him about it, and he was like, huh? It was news to him, and he was like, it's fine, and she was fine now. That's why I tell y'all, Donovan be on that bullshit when he be talking about I want
and young.
That's why I say he be lying when he talking about he want him a Florida Evans. It's like, stop lying, okay? So it was a doozy. But I said, you know what, Donovan, I got to give it to you. A lot of men would have been like, well, that's just the risk I'm willing to take. But he was more or less like, no, I have to let her go, because for one, what she did is, if I'm a man, she should have came to me and we could have talked that over, but she took things into her own hands that could have jeopardized my freedom or whatever. It wasn't even, it was just silly what she did, and he let her go. I mean, brought the girl to my nephew's graduation. I was like, oh, okay, maybe she gonna stick around. And so, you know, that's very mature, because like I said, a lot of dudes, but I don't care.
That booty is too much to give up.
So anyway, y'all, that's all we have. Thank y'all for going overtime with us. We love and appreciate every one of y'all. If y'all want to donate to the show, we'd love and appreciate that too. But at the very least, please like, subscribe, and all of that. Stay tuned for tomorrow, Wealth Wednesday with Walter. I forget what we're gonna talk about, but it's gonna be very interesting. Of course, we open up the link so y'all can come on and comment. So until then, y'all, we will see y'all later. Peace.